In this video, Amelia will talk about herself and her experience learning English. You'll learn some useful vocabulary and expressions that are commonly used in everyday conversations. Listen carefully.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amelia. Today, I want to share my journey with you. My journey from knowing zero English as a kid to becoming fluent by the time I reached college. It wasn't a straight path. It was filled with ups and downs, funny moments, and a lot of determination. When I was a child, English felt like a language from another planet. The letters looked strange, the words sounded funny, and I barely understood a thing. My first encounter with English came from things like signs, books, and the random words we'd see on TV. I remember hearing English words and wondering what they meant. My first teachers were cartoons, shows like Tom and Jerry, Scooby-Doo, and all the funny cartoons gave me my first English words. I'd hear simple phrases, even if I didn't know their meaning, and I'd repeat them to myself. Cartoons made learning feel like a game. I didn't realize I was actually practicing English. I'd walk around the house saying, "What's up, Doc?" or "Let's go," because I heard it on TV. As I got older, music became my next classroom. I'd listen to English songs, often making up my own lyrics. But eventually, I wanted to know the lyrics. So I started looking them up and singing along. It was a fun way to practice pronunciation and rhythm. Little did I know, singing along to songs helped improve my vocabulary and listening skills, too. In school, English classes made things a bit more challenging. Here, I learned grammar rules and started reading simple books. At first, grammar was confusing and I'd mix up words. But slowly, I got better. I also started reading short stories and children's books, which helped me build vocabulary and understand sentences. One of the biggest steps in my journey was when I began trying to speak English with friends, teachers, or even strangers. At first, I was shy and worried about making mistakes, but I realized that mistakes were just part of learning. Each conversation was like a mini lesson. If I mispronounced something, I'd remember it for next time. With every conversation, my confidence grew, and English started feeling natural. During my high school years, movies became my favorite tool. I'd watch with subtitles, and it felt like the words were coming alive. I'd rewind scenes, try to repeat lines, and even imitate the accents, and made me feel like I was really connecting with the language. By the time I reached college, English was no longer a foreign language to me. I felt confident enough to join discussions, write essays, and even give presentations in English. College gave me the chance to truly test my skills, and all those years of practice paid off. Now looking back, I see that learning English wasn't just about memorizing words or grammar. It was about immersing myself in the language and being willing to make mistakes, try again, and have fun with it. I hope my story inspires you on your journey too. Remember, learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. If I can do it, so can you.
Before we begin our speaking practice, let's learn some new words and expressions from our story.
Encounter, meaning to come across or experience something, often for the first time. Example: My first encounter with English came from things like signs, books, and the random words we'd see on TV. Rhythm, meaning the pattern of sounds in music, speech, or language. Example, singing along to songs helped improve my vocabulary and listening skills too. Marathon, not a sprint. Meaning, an expression meaning, a process that requires patience and steady progress, rather than rushing. Example, remember, learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. Determination, meaning the quality of being persistent and not giving up, even when something is difficult. Example, it was filled with ups and downs, funny moments, and a lot of determination. Mimic, meaning to imitate or copy someone's actions or speech. Example, I'd rewind scenes, try to repeat lines, and even imitate the accents. Test my skills, meaning to try out one's abilities in a real or challenging situation. Example, college gave me the chance to truly test my skills. Shy, meaning being nervous or timid around others, especially when speaking or being noticed. Example, at first, I was shy and worried about making mistakes. Challenging, meaning difficult in a way that tests one's abilities or determination. Example, in school, English classes made things a bit more challenging. Fluent, meaning able to speak, read, or write a language easily and accurately. Example, my journey from knowing zero English as a kid to becoming fluent by the time I reached college. Inspire, meaning to encourage someone to do or feel something, especially something positive. Example, I hope my story inspires you on your journey. 2. Mispronounced, meaning said a word incorrectly. Example, if I mispronounce something, I'd remember it for next time. Pronunciation, meaning the way in which a word is spoken. Example, watching movies with subtitles helped me a lot with pronunciation and made me feel like I was really connecting with the language.
Time to speaking practice. Repeat after Amelia.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amelia. Hi, everyone. My name is Amelia. Today, I want to share my journey with you. Today, I want to share my journey with you. My journey from knowing zero English as a kid. My journey from knowing zero English as a kid to becoming fluent by the time I reached college. To becoming fluent by the time I reached college. It wasn't a straight path. It wasn't a straight path. It was filled with ups and downs. It was filled with ups and downs. Funny moments and a lot of determination. Funny moments and a lot of determination. When I was a child, English felt like a language. When I was a child, English felt like a language. From another planet. From another planet. The letters looked strange, the words sounded funny. The letters looked strange, the words sounded funny. and I barely understood a thing. And I barely understood a thing. My first encounter with English came from things. My first encounter with English came from things like signs, books, and the random words we'd see on TV. Like signs, books, and the random words we'd see on TV. I remember hearing English words. I remember hearing English words. And wondering what they meant. And wondering what they meant. My first teachers were cartoons. Shows like Tom and Jerry. My first teachers were cartoons. Shows like Tom and Jerry, Scooby-Doo, and all the funny cartoons gave me. Scooby-Doo, and all the funny cartoons gave me. My first English words. My first English words. I'd hear simple phrases. I'd hear simple phrases. Even if I didn't know their meaning. Even if I didn't know their meaning. And I'd repeat them to myself. And I'd repeat them to myself. Cartoons made learning feel like a game. Cartoons made learning feel like a game. I didn't realize I was actually practicing English. I didn't realize I was actually practicing English. I'd walk around the house saying, "What's up, Doc?" I'd walk around the house saying, "What's up, Doc?" Or, "Let's go," because I heard it on TV. Or, "Let's go," because I heard it on TV. As I got older, music became my next classroom. As I got older, music became my next classroom. I'd listen to English songs, often making up my own lyrics. I'd listen to English songs, often making up my own lyrics. But eventually, I wanted to know the lyrics. But eventually, I wanted to know the lyrics. So I started looking them up and singing along. It was a fun way to practice pronunciation and rhythm. It was a fun way to practice pronunciation and rhythm. Little did I know. Little did I know. Singing along to songs helped improve my vocabulary. Singing along to songs helped improve my vocabulary. And listening skills, too. And listening skills, too. In school, English classes made things a bit more challenging. In school, English classes made things a bit more challenging. Here I learned grammar rules. Here I learned grammar rules. And started reading simple books. And started reading simple books. At first, grammar was confusing and I'd mix up words. At first, grammar was confusing and I'd mix up words. But slowly, I got better. But slowly, I got better. I also started reading short stories. I also started reading short stories. And children's books. And children's books. Which helped me build vocabulary. Which helped me build vocabulary. And understand sentences. And understand sentences. One of the biggest steps in my journey was when I began. One of the biggest steps in my journey was when I began trying to speak English with friends, teachers, or even strangers. Trying to speak English with friends, teachers, or even strangers. At first, I was shy and worried about making mistakes. At first, I was shy and worried about making mistakes. But I realized that mistakes were just part of learning. But I realized that mistakes were just part of learning. Each conversation was like a mini lesson. Each conversation was like a mini lesson. If I mispronounce something, I'd remember it for next time. I'd remember it for next time. With every conversation, my confidence grew. With every conversation, my confidence grew. And English started feeling natural. And English started feeling natural. During my high school years, movies became my favorite tool. During my high school years, movies became my favorite tool. I'd watch with subtitles. I'd watch with subtitles. And it felt like the words were coming alive. And it felt like the words were coming alive. I'd rewind scenes, try to repeat lines. I'd rewind scenes, try to repeat lines. And even imitate the accents. And even imitate the accents. And made me feel like I was really connecting with the language. And made me feel like I was really connecting with the language. By the time I reached college, English was no longer a foreign language to me. English was no longer a foreign language to me. I felt confident enough to join discussions. Write essays, and even give presentations in English. College gave me the chance to truly test my skills. And all those years of practice paid off. Now looking back, I see that learning English wasn't just about memorizing words or grammar. It was about immersing myself in the language. And being willing to make mistakes. Try again and have fun with it. I hope my story inspires you on your journey too. Remember, learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. If I can do it, so can you.
All right, let's listen to the story one more time.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amelia. Today, I want to share my journey with you. My journey from knowing zero English as a kid to becoming fluent by the time I reached college. It wasn't a straight path. It was filled with ups and downs, funny moments, and a lot of determination. When I was a child, English felt like a language from another planet. The letters looked strange, the words sounded funny, and I barely understood a thing. My first encounter with English came from things like signs, books, and the random words we'd see on TV. I remember hearing English words and wondering what they meant. My first teachers were cartoons, shows like Tom and Jerry, Scooby-Doo, and all the funny cartoons gave me my first English words. I'd hear simple phrases, even if I didn't know their meaning, and I'd repeat them to myself. Cartoons made learning feel like a game. I didn't realize I was actually practicing English. I'd walk around the house saying, "What's up, Doc?" or "Let's go," because I heard it on TV. As I got older, music became my next classroom. I'd listen to English songs, often making up my own lyrics. But eventually, I wanted to know the lyrics. So I started looking them up and singing along. It was a fun way to practice pronunciation and rhythm. Little did I know, singing along to songs helped improve my vocabulary and listening skills, too. In school, English classes made things a bit more challenging. Here, I learned grammar rules and started reading simple books. At first, grammar was confusing and I'd mix up words. But slowly, I got better. I also started reading short stories and children's books, which helped me build vocabulary and understand sentences. One of the biggest steps in my journey was when I began trying to speak English with friends, teachers, or even strangers. At first, I was shy and worried about making mistakes, but I realized that mistakes were just part of learning. Each conversation was like a mini lesson. If I mispronounced something, I'd remember it for next time. With every conversation, my confidence grew, and English started feeling natural. During my high school years, movies became my favorite tool. I'd watch with subtitles, and it felt like the words were coming alive. I'd rewind scenes, try to repeat lines, and even imitate the accents, and made me feel like I was really connecting with the language. By the time I reached college, English was no longer a foreign language to me. I felt confident enough to join discussions, write essays, and even give presentations in English. College gave me the chance to truly test my skills, and all those years of practice paid off. Now looking back, I see that learning English wasn't just about memorizing words or grammar. It was about immersing myself in the language and being willing to make mistakes, try again, and have fun with it. I hope my story inspires you on your journey too. Remember, learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. If I can do it, so can you.
Good job today. Keep it up. Every lesson helps you get better at English. We're excited to see you in my next videos.